This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
A massive good evening to everyone. Obviously, it's extra time normally on a Sunday night, but today on a Monday night because obviously Wolverhampton Wanderers drew to our West Midland rivals, Aston Villa, who once again failed to beat us despite the referee adding on 12 minutes and then playing until they were going to score and getting us down to 10 men. It was a 1-1 draw. We've got so much to discuss tonight. And it's a show with a bit of a difference. And you're going to want to spread the word very, very quickly because we've got a debut. We have debuts a lot of the time, but we have got a debut of debuts tonight. And you'll see very, very soon. Before we get started, I do want to say a big thank you to Creation Wolf, the local business who deliver the industry's and latest, most advanced digital solutions. They can take your brand and online presence and digital capabilities to the next level, and they help power extra time. So joining me first tonight is my podcast host and good friend, Manny Kang, limbering up for the weekend's Content Creators Cup. Is playing in the Always Wolves team. Aside from that, Manny, we've got the samosas coming up. We've also got the walk to Newcastle we're going to talk about. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But we do have a debut coming up right next. Guys, you're not going to believe this when it comes on the screen. I'm almost overwhelmed in shock myself. But please welcome on to making his debut is the legend, the man, the myth, the legend, with Lewis and Lucas, Mr. Steve Bull. Oh my God! Hi, Steve. Hi, Lucas. Hi, Lewis.
Hi, Dave. How you doing? You okay?
Yeah, mate. Absolute hon. It really is an absolute honour to have you come on to the show. So thank you for joining us. I know we've only got you for about half an hour, so we will get stuck in, which is why we're just going to have just us lot on the screen. But first of all, before we go, before we get started, what did you make of the Steve, at the performance and the results at the weekend against Aston Villa?
Well, we're all going to have our options and our views about the game on Sunday. I thought the first 15 minutes, I thought they were going to hammer us. That was all over us. And we were sitting back a bit. I think after the 15 minutes, we took the game to them. And in the first half an hour, we got them here. We've actually got them. And as I said, the goal came about again with Neto. Similar goal to against Luton, running the play on the right on wing and took it in a Hwang, put it away very well. I think after that, it killed us when we had the two chances to make it 2-0. It absolutely killed us. Neto had one, didn't he? When Sasha come on as well, and I think Sasha had one as well, didn't he? I think so. To make it 2, I thought we got him here, we got him, and then silly fouls again. Lamina, pulling him back. Shouldn't have done it when he was on a yellow card because he weren't going anywhere anyway. Should just let him go and then let the defender get him. But when that goes off, then 10 men against 11. Usually it's harder with 10 men, but I don't know why as well. You won't believe this. Why, when you're 10 men, they always tuck back in and think they got one more man more than us because they got 4 at the back. Where's our 2 to cover them for? So we should keep playing the same way, but we want a front and just keep playing the same way. I didn't get it. And like you said, when they got their equaliser, and then towards the end, like you say, the last 12 minutes, 13 minutes, was it? Something like that, when there's an extra minute added on.
I believe it. It was 10. I think it was 10 minutes they added on, and then they kept playing.
12 minutes added on, and I think that hit the post in the 13th minute. Where does that come from?
Yeah, it was the same. Did you see the other day with Man U? They had 96 minutes, and they scored in the 97th. I know you got to add little bits on here and there, but when they've said that, that's it. You got to stick to that time. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Lewis and Lucas, before the game, would you have taken a point at the end of the game? Were you happy with the point? Do you think we could have gone on and won it, or are you just relieved in the end that we got that point? We talked about it before the Man City game. If someone had said we'd have got 4 points from Villa and City, most people wouldn't have believed it. What do you take out of the game, boys?
Yeah, I think for me, it's a massive point. When you look at the past two games before the Man City game, Luton and Ipswich, like you said, before the Man City game, if you said you're going to get 4 points, you would easily, you'd be in disbelief really that you'd pick up them points. So I was very happy to obviously beat Man City. I think I made the prediction before. I thought it would be a draw against Villa. They're really physical. John McGinn, he's such a player that you don't want to play against. If he's on your team, you love him because he's a fantastic player and how he plays the game. It's so smart for your team, but when you're playing against him, it's horrible to play against. To have someone like that on the opposition. I think that the draw is probably, like Steve said, we could have made it 2. We had enough chances there. We're just having that clinical edge at the end, really, just to finish off the chances when they come. And like Steve also said, with the silly fouls, obviously their goal came from the free kick as well after, the crossing after the first free kick cross. And yeah, I think before the game, definitely a point would have been, I would have took a point. After the first goal, I probably, felt we could have pushed on a little bit, but, at the end of the game, I was just relieved that we managed to hold on to the point.
And what about you, Lucas, mate?
It reminded me of any normal derby, really scrappy from the first minute to the last. We were really lucky to get away with them chances that they had in the last 5 minutes. I think if they scored that, you wouldn't have heard the end of it.
Oh, mate, they've been waiting, ain't they, Manny, for ages to have to be able. I mean, that game a couple of years ago when we were at Villa Park and they were like winning 2-0 in the 82nd minute.
Oh, yeah.
And I think there's only 3 games in Premier League history that a team have won the game 3-2 after the 82nd minute, and we're 1-1. And the Limbs in that away end on that day, and they still haven't beaten us in the Premier League since we've got up. Is that right?
6 games,
Yeah.
I think. They beat us in the lockdown season, didn't they?
Yeah.
They beat us 1-0, but not in
What's
front
your
of fans.
take on it, mate, Manny?
Well, you know what? I went to Ipswich away and I came out of that game. Honestly, I was pulling my beard out. No, honestly, it was horrific. It was. There was nothing on offer, even though we played a second 11. I was really, and going into City and Villa, really, it was like damage limitation. You thought, are we going to live with these teams? So here we are, 4 points later. 2 performances, and really we could have probably sat on 6 points, like Steve just mentioned, at 1-0 up. I thought we were on top of the game, we were controlling the game, and we carved out 2 very, very good jobs. Neto, he's been sensational, but he has got a rash finish. He doesn't score many goals, and you can see why. I mean, Bully, can you tell me before I go on, if that ball came across from Sasha Kalajdzic,
It was a great cross from
and
Sasha.
you were running onto it, Bully, what was your thought process in that?
Me, I'd have just gone. I'd have put my foot right through the ball. I wouldn't have started trying to side foot it or anything. I'd have put my foot right through the ball, so it banged straight through. Not trying side foot it, because the side foot it could go that way, or over the bar or whatever. And I think anybody, if you'd have said to me, put Neto, let's score the goal, I'd put him there. Because he would do it normally, you know what I mean? Yeah. But it was one of the things. He's not a natural goal scorer. We've got to forget that. He's not. He's like a winger. He's a winger, so he's not a natural goal scorer. But when he comes in with the goals, with his tricks and antics, he's absolutely brilliant. So you can't fault him for that one thing.
No. I just thought I'd get your take. A striker's take. But, so fantastic. We were in the game all the way till the end, until the sending off. Obviously, when the sending off happens, 12 minutes. I think when 90 minutes have gone up on the clock and you're down to 10, it's just a mentality that does say, oh my God, can we hang on? Just let's hang on. But then when you look at the clock, 12 minutes is like an eighth of the game. It's like a huge amount of the game still left to go. And Villa started carving chances. And we were sitting right in line with the referee facing us. As he puts his whistle to his mouth, he's about to blow, and then you can see Villa having an attack, and he takes the whistle out of his mouth to let them have one final attack, and the cross goes in. The guy, Watkins, to be fair, Watkins did have 1 or 2 chances. I thought Dawson did really well, but he's still a very, very good player, and he did carve out a couple of chances. And that, I'm sure half the South Bank would have been on the pitch if that had gone in, because they could have scored, yes, but we could have scored the winner as well. So, you know, I'll take a point every day of the week. It's a bit of progression. At the moment, I still think we're a club that sort of one goal, we get the one goal, where's the second or the third one going to come from? Where are we going to kill off teams? You know, have we got that confidence to go? That's the sort of the next step that we've got to go to. But yeah, all the players, don't you think after, you know, the start of the season, they look a little bit settled in where they're playing? Kilman, someone like Kilman.
I've been saying that, Manny, since probably about 5 games ago. The defence, to me, are quite slow in the back four. And I'll be saying in the pipe, and we call them gutter a three. We're more comfortable with a 3. And the last 2 games have proved it again. You know what I mean? Because when you play with a 4, the right back and the left back are right back and left backs. When you play with 3, the wing backs.
Yeah.
I can go forward, but it's hard to get them back. So me, when he played with that 5 against Manchester United, yes, get in there. Yeah, we'll have a chance.
Do you know what, Steve? We've actually said exactly the same thing on the channel as well. Obviously, it's early days. I think in some ways, with the fact that Bellegarde getting sent off, and then Doyle, who was suspended, couldn't play against City, kind of forced a hand in a way to go back to the back 5. It was a fantastic performance against Manchester City. We did an absolute job. It's almost been given a blueprint, actually, on how to mark and play Haaland, because I think he had Dawson man marking him, and then he had Kilman backing up the man marking, and I think Totti was on Foden, and there's a lot of man marking it, and it kind of worked out for us. And then if everyone was hoping he'd stick to the back 5, because we have got pace going forward, you know, and Neto seems quicker than ever before, and he's got such a confidence. Yet he missed that shot. You'd have thought he would have put it in. It was just, he shinned it, went over the bar. It would have been a great. But what I was impressed with when Sasha comes on, he isn't just a one-trick pony. Sasha,
he can play. He can play football.
He whipped that ball in. It was like a winger. It was fantastic, and I like to see him get some minutes. Steve, a lot of people are probably very interested in hearing your thoughts on Fabio Silva. He divides opinion. We want him to be a success. Some people think he's not good enough. Some people think he needs games he just needs a confidence. The goal against Everton, he was very instinctive. He put it in without thinking. When he seems to be in the one-on-one situations, he seems to panic a little bit. What's your take on Fabio Silva, Steve?
Am I allowed to say certain things on that?
Yeah, man, this is all allowed. Don't worry about it.
You know, he frustrates me. He absolutely frustrates me, mate. You know, I mean, I think the first thing I'd love to do is get some shears, cut his hair off and give him a bully cut, and put him in a boxing ring with somebody from Whip Marines or something like that for half an hour and say, you don't kiss him or hug him. You know, you know, I'm watching him these games, and he's just nudging somebody that's falling over. He's picking him up. He's nearly kissing him. I'm going, what are you doing? What is he doing? You know, and all I want him to do is say, if they're down there, say, you're down there for a reason. I'm going to keep you down there as well. You know what I mean? He ain't got that rough diamond cut. He ain't got that roughness in him to
Do you think he's a bit too nice?
Yeah, I think he is. I think he's too nice. I'd love to go down there and just have a word with him. I would honestly just have a word with him. Just say, listen, you ain't got to be nice. You got to be like a Costa. You got to be nasty and horrible and leave something now and again to say, I'll tell you what, next time I'll have you, and I'll have you next time and next time, you know what I mean? And be more ruthless in front of goal. That's what I'd say to him. But it's got something. It's whether he fits into our side now, because I've given him the chance a few games ago. They give him 2 or 3 chances today. Show us what you can do. He just ain't fitting into the system the way it's going at the moment, and it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. You know what I mean? I think at this moment in time, I could see Sasha doing the job rather than him. You know what I mean? Because the bigger presence, he'll put himself about, and he, like you say, man, he can play football as well.
Manny, I think whilst we got Steve on we got him for about another 15 minutes or so. Just quickly, let's sort of just, we'll come back when Steve's gone to your performance rating, man of the match and stuff. Steve, just for the Villa thing, and then we'll go for some questions from the people that are watching. as well that we can ask. And whilst we're fortunate enough to have you on the channel, what would you? Who was your man of the match, and what would you say your performance rate, and what was your highlight of the day against Villa?
Oh, sure. What can I say? I don't know. There's a couple of man of the matches. Neto was absolutely brilliant. I think Dawson is playing out of his skin every single game. He'll put his head where it hurts. He ain't bothered. And so I would give it Dawson myself, to be fair, seriously, because he don't care what he does. He don't care putting his head down there or his elbow, or he'll stop somebody doing stuff. I'd give him man of the match money. I would, seriously. He played brilliant. But there's a few others that tickle along on the verge of it, which I like to have a few man of the matches, not just one, because at least there's more players playing with each other, and they're giving the performances week in, week out.
Absolutely. And Steve, Gary O'Neill, the Lopetegui situation, Lopetegui leaving in the way he did. There's people obviously talk about a Fosun backing, the situation with Jeff and stuff like that in terms of what happened with the Lopetegui. What's your take, just for interest, what's your take on that? And before we get on to Gary O'Neill?
Frustrating in a way. It's a bit like the Nunes situation. They took the dummy out and they buggered off, and they shouldn't do that. They should stick with it. I think Gary O'Neill's coming. I'll go back to Lopetegui. He's coming. He knows the tools he's got to deal with. He knows what he got to play with, and it'll be his character. It'll be him as a character person to get that team playing with or without the tools. Where Lopetegui, he probably asked for some players, and they probably said, no, we can't do it until this financial fair play is done. And then when that's done, we'll give you some. And he's thought, well, why do I want it? Why do I want it? I need players. You can't just sell all the best players and not give me on. And he's chucked his dummy out and just gone. So frustrating in a way as a supporter's view, because, he did do a good job. If Sam is new now, he did a good job. Different managers come in, and we've got to give Gary O'Neill it now. We've got to give him the credit to say and get behind him and say, this is what you got. Deal with that, and when we can give it you, we'll give it you. And you can see it transforming now at the moment, like you say, with the back four, back three. He knows the players can go forward rather than come backwards. So we're starting to get the measure now. It takes a long time, for a manager to come in and stamp his authority, unless he's got world-class players. Not saying we ain't got world-class players. We ain't got the class of players of, like, I don't know, the Man Cities, the Tottenhams, the Arsenals, But we ain't far away.
Would you say, then, that there needs to be a little bit of patience because you're coming really late? It's early season. We've had a tough start, 8 points out of 8 games in the end. Doesn't matter how we've got them. It isn't a bad start for me. Obviously, we had the situation with the VAR. There is a question here for you, Steve, from Darren. Darren wants to know, how would you
ask him about that
playing with VAR?
Imagine Bully scoring a goal, doing his aeroplane, and then the referee goes like this.
Telling you that I did something like this today, Manny, and they said to me, "Would you rather play then or now?" I absolutely loved it when we played there. You could get away with elbows, headbutting, punching, not like nasty, just making yourself aware you're there. I'm watching it these days with VAR and little tackles and whatever. It does my head in, mate. It does my absolute head in. And I stand on the balcony above the tunnel, and I'm watching the game. I have to keep going to watch the telly to say, have they got it right? Have they got it wrong? Have they got it right? And it's frustrating, mate. And like you say, I think every Wolves fan, every football fan says, why do you need a referee? Why do you need linesmen? You don't trust them. They don't trust them. You know what I mean? Instinct, yeah, you can get away with that offside. You know what I mean? But not that. You know what I mean? It's doing everybody's head in, and I can see Klopp doing it now. He's getting frustrated. There's managers getting frustrated over the stupidest thing. And them comments I heard the other day, against Liverpool, Tottenham, when that was horrific. And I was swearing, saying, "Oh, they've got it wrong." I'm going, "Oh my word!" And that's the livelihood of clubs going up or coming down. That VAR is. Man U, the goalkeeper runs straight into Dawson. Our game there, it's a blatant penalty.
And then you look. I mean, as the other thing, Steve, if you look at all the decisions last year, the penalty against Newcastle away on Jimenez when we were all standing around like waiting to go, and the Liverpool in the cup when they lost the camera angle, the FA, the League Cup when he clipped the back of it. There were so many decisions last year as well, and there's also Wolves. This is a stat that I've been told, and how true it is. But Wolves have had double the number of red cards than any other Premier League team in the last 12 months as well. From a Wolves fan point of view, sometimes I know people talk about corruption, whether it's I don't think it's corruption, but I think subliminal bias is there sometimes. Do you think there's a subliminal agenda against Wolves, or do you just think it's just how it is?
I just think we can be biased. We can be biased. We always seem as though we get the rough end of the stick. But you can, it's common sense. I've seen half of ours. I've seen the Gomez won the ball off his leg onto his arm. That ain't a penalty because it didn't hit him straight in the hand. That's not a penalty. And I'm thinking now, are they supporting the clubs where they live or where they're from, these referees? And I've said all along, all our referees should be from another country. So they can't be biased, and they'll just give the decisions on what.
Like they do in the cricket and the rugby, they're always different.
You know what I mean? They should do that, you know what I mean? And all our English ones should go in the foreign countries. See, saying that's now with disrespect to the referees, because there are some decent ones.
Do you think you should have like players like yourself that have played the game that should be in the VAR room as well, to give them a bit of common sense from players?
I watched Soccer Saturday on Saturday. The referee was on there with the ball. I don't know his name. I used to call him everything else apart from referee.
Dermot Gallagher, that one. Yeah,
that's it. He's there, and they have to give their assumption of what goes on in the games, and they're saying, well, that ain't right. And they said something to Merson. You've got to have a look at the interview. They said something to Merson about a sloppy thing about VAR, and Merson absolutely ripped his head off. He says you shouldn't be fit to be a referee, and I'm going, and that's a former referee who gives us dodgy decisions as well. But it is frustrating, and I think it's here for the long time. I've just got to sort it out. They've got to sort it out sooner rather than later, because players, fans, they're going to have heart attacks. Like you said,
Steve, it was brought in to take away the controversy. That's what it was brought in. Yeah. It's actually created more. If you look at like Lamina, he gets sent off for a little tug, a little tickle, where he could have he gets sent off, and then you see Man City, who are a big team, and Kovacic, two nasty tackles. First one could have been a red card. Second one's a different. Yeah, he's still on the pitch.
I know he should definitely have gone.
That's where people can think that's a Man City. We're the Wolves. We're never going to get those decisions.
Yeah. But I thought when it actually first came in, I thought they bought VAR for contact in the box on corners and free kicks with arms and everything around them and whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? I thought it was actually bought into that, and the referee does the rest. But they've expanded it now like this, and I'm going, it's doing me head in. And when I was sitting there grappling on Saturday with Dawson and bloody McGinn, 3 times the referee stopped it, and he didn't even book him. He didn't say anything. Otherwise, he'd have been off, with his second tackle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Steve, we've got another question for you. And if you do want to ask Steve a question, we've got over 300 of you watching live, and I know thousands more will watch it back and listen to it on the podcast as well. All you have to do is...
Bully's got a big family.
Yeah, Steve, we've got a question here from Wolves 2007. Who would you say was the biggest club ever to try and sign you? Were you ever close to going?
Okay. To my knowing, I had 4 clubs I could have gone to. 4 clubs. I could have gone to Torino in Italy after the World Cup, but I'd just been up and down Italy 6 weeks. I thought, I like my English food, English people. I ain't having that. I knew that. Plus, they wouldn't have understood me anyway. And the second club I could have gone to was Newcastle before Andy Cole went. Andy Cole from Man U, he was second choice. I had the agent come around my house. I just had my first boy, and I thought, I don't need no disrupt. Third one was Coventry, we all know about, with Big Ron, lovely bloke, absolutely top drawer. But he was offering me a 5-year deal in this hand when I was earning the same amount in 3 years in. I thought, why am I going to waste 2 years here? You know what I mean? And then the fourth club that came in for me was Celtic. And I just thought, well, it's too wet up there for me. No way.
Strange question here.
Big clubs they are,
I don't know how true this is or not, but Clint Thornton's question, what happened to the F-Reg Fiesta you were given in the Tipton Town Friendly in 1988?
We all had them. I had a Ford Escort first. It was a car, by the way. I had a Ford Escort first, and then I had the Fiesta, and then I just went on from well, first of all, I had a big orange Cortina a big, massive bloke. Because when we was at the Samuel Town, me and Tomo, we travelled down the M5 and the A449, the Orange Cortina. Tomo got curly hair and a moustache, right? I got a check jacket on from Bilston Market, right? We look like Starsky and Hutch going down the M5, me and Tomo. Seriously, we pulled outside the Molyneux. We looked at the ground and went, what the bloody hell's this? You know what I mean? It was a dump. There was one stand about half a mile like the John Island. The other, the concrete L South Bank, which was the best stand ever in the day. And the two was run down here. And we just looked at each other, what we done here. But we never looked back. We never looked back since that day.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Charles Mitchell wants to know if there's any chance of you re-signing and playing against Bournemouth.
I was going to say, before I come here, if anybody says to me, put your boots back on again, bully, I'll tell you, I'm going to knock them out. They're just me.
I bet if you had £1 for that, you'd be a multi-billionaire, probably, wouldn't you?
Well, I wouldn't be on here with you, like, would I?
No. It's truth. That's truth. That is.
Just running down. Steve, where do you think Wolves will end up finishing this season, and who do you think's going to win the league, and who do you think will end with the three clubs going down?
Okay. I'll go from back to front. I think the three that are already down there won't be far away. I'm hoping we're the top of the pile because I think there's 9 clubs down there, 8-9 clubs that we've got to be the top of that pile. I don't care where we finish this year. I think we've got to regroup. We've got to make sure we stop up this year. I don't care if it's by the skin of our teeth or whatever. I wouldn't like the skin of the teeth. I want it secured, quite early. But, I want us to survive this year, start building. Hopefully, I'll give them some money in January and over next year, the year after. Fingers crossed, I'll give it Gary and see how we go from there. But me, I think under the radar this year, you wouldn't believe. I think they're going on about Man City, Arsenal, whatever. Tottenham are coming under the radar, under the radar season. They're being a silent but deadly, and I think they won't be far away. So I'm going to go Tottenham. You
think Tottenham? That's interesting.
Yeah, I think looking at Man City over the last 2 games against Arsenal and us, I think they can be vulnerable without certain players. Arsenal without Saka, they just about scrambled through the other day. I just hope they don't come crying for Neto in January to replace Saka.
I don't think we can sell him in January. That would, but we need him, don't we? Next summer, we'd have to consider it, I guess. Chris has been posting this for ages on here. Would you rather play against Shane Wesley or Craig Dawson?
It wouldn't bother me. I'd take them both on anyway. I wouldn't care. You know what I mean? Not now. In my day, I'd have them both. I'd have them both for dinner. But now I think I watched some clips back of the Sherpa van and when Shane Wesley was there, and he used to do 2-footed tackles and everything. He used to take everybody out. I'm thinking, oh my word, what is he doing? But Dawes to me is hard but fair. You know what I mean? He don't go into to main people. He goes for the ball and then goes over. He goes through the man. You know what I mean? Not naughty, not dangerous. Where Shane was a bit more, I can say, a bit more dirtier, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. Bobby Smith wants to know, Bully, who was your best strike partner, Much Goodman or John Paskin?
Oh my word! I've had some good ones. Keeney ain't there. Robert Kelly ain't there. Ewan Roberts ain't there. There's loads there. I think we got to say Muchie. I think Muchie's got to be the best one at the lot of them because we had a great understanding. I think on the pitch, you won't believe it. Me and Muchie, right? He talked Scouse. I was Tipton, right? We knew on the pitch where we were, but we couldn't understand what we said to each other. He's going like, calm down, bully lad. I'm going, Muchie, get number 5.
Fantastic. Dave Boyles wants to know, where do you think we need to strengthen?
I think anywhere at the moment, we need new faces in as soon as possible as January window comes, because I think I think we need, I always say a backbone, a centre half, a midfielder, a striker, and I think we need nothing wrong with Sarr, but I think we need a backup for Sarr, seriously, because he's a good goalkeeper, but he makes just silly little mistakes at the wrong time. But as you say, I think anything, get anyone down the backbone there. We can get the rest on the outside, but in the middle of the park needs sorted.
Fantastic. There's another good one here. Andy would like to know what your dream 5-a-side team would be.
Oh, guys, I got all night. I've got to go in a minute. Jesus Christ. I don't even
Well,
know.
you will be playing up front, that's for sure.
I definitely would be. I definitely would be. I don't know. Goalkeepers, I don't know. I'd probably have Stoley or something like that. You know what I mean? He was a great goalkeeper. I'd definitely have Tomo in the side because he's got low Lord of gravity. So
what about Paul Cook, mate? Paul Cook with his through balls for you?
Cook in middle of the park. He had an engine. You know what I mean? There's loads in that era. I've got a picture here. It's a Sherpa van one. Remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant.
The old Sherpa van one. The old Sherpa. I'll show you one of the old South Bank as well. Get that one there. This one of the old South Bank as well.
Brilliant.
Yeah, there you go. That was when we won the league, I think it was. I was on the shoulders.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great
famous
photo.
pictures, mate. Famous.
See, I know. Good old days then, mate. Good old days. Absolutely brilliant.
And Peter Yam Yam wants to know what's your views on Fosun and Jeff Shee.
Oh, my word. Yes, being a vice president, I have to be very, very careful. No, I just think they've come in. I think they did a good job to start with. I think it's just unfortunate they've had to retrace all this money back and get everything back. I'll give you another view early next year and see after they've spent some money. We'll see in January, and I'll give you my honest opinion then as a vice president and as a fan as well. Because I'll get as frustrated as many as you are. Because you know me, you see me in the stand, I cheer like you do. I pay for my own ticket, I pay for my own beer. I still do the same as you do, so I've got my own opinion. But I have to be careful, and sometimes I sit on the fence about certain things in life regarding football because I'm a vice president of the club.
No, absolutely, mate.
Right.
And to be honest, Bully, I know that you've got to go and pick up your lady in a second as well. So we're going to have to, I could go on with so many questions and stuff, and maybe you'll come on another time.
If you'd come on at 8 o'clock, you've had another 15 minutes. It's your fault, Manny. It's your fault.
Dave told me 8:15.
I said to Lewis, he says when he said you got to go at quarter, I said if I'd known, I could have got on a bit early. But Bully,
it's an absolute pleasure though to see you, and you're looking well.
No worries, it's a pleasure.
I didn't even know you knew the channel even existed. When Lewis messaged me and says, "How do you fancy Steve coming on?" I'm like, "Are you kidding?" It's like it's an unbelievable honour.
It doesn't exist. It's just a Zoom call between me and Dave that you've jumped on.
That's what it is.
Mate, we'd love to have you come on again in the new year. That would be absolutely amazing, and maybe we can get a little bit more time and we can promote a bit more. I'm quite respectful. I was just told to keep it quiet, and if someone asked me to keep it quiet, I will keep it quiet. I didn't even tell Manny, I didn't tell anyone because
I literally came on earlier to everybody, and we were on setting up, and I was looking, and Dave goes, "We've got a special guest on," and I just sat there. And because I didn't even look at the three blokes in this. I thought there was some boy band that had got on for the night.
There's no way I'm singing on here. There's no way I'm singing on here, mate.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that they asked me not to say, and I'm not told anyone because that's the type of person I am. If I'm asked not to say, I'll keep my word, and so I haven't. So, but with your permission, if you can come on again in the future, and you're happy for us to say, we've had well over 300. There'll be loads that'll watch it back and everything, but we can probably be great to have you for a little bit longer. Look, Steve, I know you've got to go and pick your lady up. I don't want you to be late because you don't want to get into trouble with the other half or anything like that. But thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's literally is surreal, really. So thank you so much.
Anytime at all, Manny.
Cheers.
Lewis and Lucas, if you want to come back on when Steve's gone, so we can talk to you about your views and man of the match as well, pop back on and we can carry on. But I guess you got to see Steve off first.
Yeah, we'll sort that out, Dave. I'll be in touch with you.
Yeah, nice one. Cheers, Steve.
Cheers,
Cheers, Lucas. Cheers. I'll see you the weekend. Cheers. Absolutely fantastic, Manny. What do you think about that?
Superb. It's great to see. I mean, we know he's really close to the club and we read his thoughts, but, he speaks from the heart, and he's the legend that we followed. He was from our age group, he was our hero, and we've never had a hero like him because of the situation he came in and what he did for the club single-handedly. And I still even think he played for England as a third division player. That's never going to happen again. So he's a legend and he's historic for our club, and brilliant to have him talk to him. Yeah.
I never even I didn't tell you, did I? Because you know me,
No.
if someone tells me
No,
something.
I don't, mate. A fair play, and yeah, good on him. And he said some good stuff, didn't he? He said some honest stuff there, and you can see, when the Foce and Jeff Shee question was asked, Steve's very, very close to the club, and he has to be careful, I suppose. He's there all the time. He's representing them. He's, but like you said, the proof will be what happens in the future, I suppose. We just got to suck it up at the moment and go with it. And it's not going too badly recently. So
no, that's especially not. I mean, I think that's kind of where a lot of people are. It's like, I mean, I think we've all agreed that we've regressed over the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Obviously, the publicity, and we've talked about it a lot on the channel with what happened with Lopetegui in the summer, and then obviously the transfers and all of that sort of jazz and what they're having to do to get back on the financial even keel. People, a lot of people can kind of accept that to a point, but like, it's okay. But like, it's nail on the head there. It's what happens next. It's what happens next.
We got to a place very quickly, unexpectedly, didn't we? And let's be honest, if we'd got to like 15th or 13th and 12th, and now we were 10th, then we would probably say, okay, we're making a bit of progression, because we got straight away to 7th, and we saw ourselves even dreaming of Champions League football at a stage. We thought we were going, and that looks like a mile away. When you look at the top 4 now, that looks like another world. But these last 2 games have given us a bit of hope, because we suddenly found a bit of identity, which, let's be honest, the pressure was going to be on Gary O'Neill if we hadn't have got these results, even more. So it's given him a bit of breathing space. But football's only as good as your next game or your last game. So, Bournemouth becomes the Man City and the Villa, and we have to carry on in the same vein, take our chances, win games. And it's the only thing that changes people's opinions, winning games,
Well, absolutely. And I mean, like, we're going to look ahead to the Bournemouth game, and we've got all our other guests coming on. Before we look ahead to Bournemouth, your man of the match for the Villa game.
Man of the match, it was like Bully says, we could easily name 3 or 4 players. I'm going to go, and I've mentioned him before, I'm going to go because what he's actually achieved is unreal. Hwang, I mean, let's be honest, he's the last player we'd have thought would be sitting here on 5 successive goals at Molineux. First time that's happened in my lifetime. So 1973 was the year I was born, believe it or not. The last time a Wolves player scored 5 goals in 5 consecutive top flight games. That's a hell of an achievement. So for him to be in the right place, that run that he made for Neto, and gave him the option. Obviously, Neto did so much hard work, but you still got to finish it off, and he finishes it off. And if you switch it, and if you thought Sasha, when he plays that ball across, if Hwang is in that place with his form, he probably scores that goal, because he just seems that he's got this level head in front of goal where he doesn't like smash the ball, he doesn't leather it, he just basically, he knows just how to get it into the net somehow. So brilliant. He was, sensational.
He's so confident about you. You look at Neto, 5 assists already. You look at Hwang.
We didn't get that all season. Last year, we didn't get those stats all season. And after 8 games, remember, we played Brighton, Liverpool, Man City, United, Villa. So we played 5 of the top 6, 7 clubs in this country, right, in our first 8. And they got those stats against them. So after the Luton game, like I said, and after Ipswich, I was thinking, no way, because we was expecting a couple of defeats here. And then you would have said Gary O'Neill was out of his depth, but he's got 5 points from the last 3 games. If we would have beaten Luton and got a point against City and Villa, we'd have all been happy. So that's brilliant for me, and you have to back him. I was very sceptical, and I thought there was only going to be one way with O'Neill, to be fair, just a couple of weeks ago. But you've got to give him credit. He, like you said earlier, it might be by default that sending off. He went to a back five, and then we held out for a point. And you know, that Luton game, yes, it is Luton. That point might just be his saviour, because had he lost that going down to 10, but he got the point, he scraped it, and then we've gone on from there and got another 4, and he's found a system. So Luton might have been that moment, you know, that moment where it all changes.
You know what, that Alex Ferguson moment all them years ago. I mean,
right, when he was about to be sacked.
Way ahead of ourselves, but like sometimes games.
Mark Robbins, I remember in that FA Cup, I watched it. You know, when Mark Robbins rolled that goal in the FA Cup. If he'd never had scored that goal, Ferguson was about to be sacked. You know, so we're not saying Gary O'Neill's going to turn into Alex Ferguson, but I just think it buys him a bit of time. But he's got to. The team have got to still. You know, some people have said they don't rate him, and I probably agree with you guys. You know, that he's still got to prove himself. You know, 2 games is not the be all and end all, but you've got to give him credit for 4 points against those 2 teams with the players he had and the system he's got. Fair play. And if Neto's flying and Hwang is flying, then he's picking them, and he's training them, and he's coaching them. So you've got to give him credit for that. You can't just ignore him. So, you know...
He'd said after the Luton, and that a lot of people said after the Luton and the Ipswich game that he'd lost the dressing room and stuff like that.
I was ready for him to go. Honestly, I was at that point. It just seemed we had just no idea. But like suddenly, you know, like everything just falls in place. All the players sort of didn't know where they were playing. Kilman and Dawson looked too far apart. The fullbacks didn't know how to defend. We didn't have an attacking role in midfield. The forwards who we were going to play. Suddenly everyone seems to fall into place. Even Max Kilman has gone from there to about here in just a couple of games. Dawson's performance has gone high because he's playing as the king in the middle of the 3. Totti Gomez has come in and showed, you've said and I've said, you know, the guy never puts a foot wrong. And then the fullbacks naturally are wing backs, so they're playing now natural roles, so they're playing better. You know, Neto, when you know that the goal against Man City, when he makes that run, I don't think he makes that run if he's playing in a back 4. Never does, because he's leaving himself wide open. He's got the security, and we've just got to obviously carry on. He's still got a lot to prove. We got a few suspensions, you know, with Lamina and Smaida.
Suspended.
But we got Doherty, we got Bellegarde, we've got some options, and it is Bournemouth, and Bournemouth are struggling. So take this confidence into Bournemouth and say we're going to put you to the sword, because we've just had 4 points against these 2 teams. We can't just throw that away by playing poorly. Obviously, you always need a bit of luck, and you need your players to finish the chances. But let's.
I'll tell you what, man. You're looking ahead to Bournemouth, like you're rightly point. I mean, they got rid of Gary O'Neill. They brought in this new manager, and he ain't won a game. Gary O'Neill surely is going to want to go to Bournemouth and turn them over and prove a point, and hopefully, you know, the players will be with him. But like we've done well in the fact that some by hook or by crook, we've managed to get 8 points from the first 8 games, and which was a tough start. And obviously, you know, some people were turning against him. I've always said, like all along, it's like I was getting frustrated myself, especially after the Ipswich game. Not because we lost to Ipswich, because on form. They've got a lot of momentum. The fact that we were 2-0 up, and the thing that was getting me down was the capitulation all the time, that we keep capitulating. The Man City, we showed character and fight and structure, and we had an identity, or like almost back to our DNA. Played it against Villa. We could have won. Neto had that chance, we didn't. At the end of the day, we could have lost it. It's still a decent point. Yeah. And obviously with the short pre-season and the first thing, you've got it, like what Bully said, it's like hard to think. Now he's sort of getting to know his squad. The next period, the next 8 games are going to be really interesting to see. The likes of Bournemouth, we've got to go there and, you know, do what we didn't do to Luton. I think
one game, you know, that one game is, like you said, personally for him, he won't ever say it because it's just another game. Personally, he's going to be going there thinking, you know, if I'm going to win one game, I'm going to make sure I'm going to win this one. So let's see. And the one thing he's got is he's now knows how he wants to play, and I hope he doesn't change that. And people can get frustrated and think, oh, why are we playing a back five against Bournemouth? We can go a bit more attacking, but you have to always have a formation. It doesn't matter who you're playing. You've got to have a way of playing, everyone settled, everyone comfortable. So he's got that as a starting point, and he's proved it against, you know, some really good sides, Watkins and Haaland, some great, you know, they're international strikers for a reason. They're in form. They're top of the charts. Everyone's talking about them. And we didn't concede a goal against both of them. So, you know, that's a big thing. And defence was suffering. Let's be honest. The defence was suffering and conceding 3s and 4s. Soft underbelly was the thing everybody was saying. So this back five has sort of put a belt around the belly, isn't it? It's put a belt, put a bit of assurance. Semedo's performance has stepped up from looking a bit iffy. Aït-Nouri looks a bit more natural, even though he has.
He tends to cramp up after about 70 minutes, and he Aït-Nouri.
He does. But one thing we have with Johnny and Doherty and, you know, Bueno not far off coming back apparently, and, you know, Aït-Nouri and Semedo, we have got some options, and it is a squad game. And everybody needs a squad. Look at Man City. You know, lost 3 or 4 players, and suddenly they lost a couple of games. Everybody does need a squad. So let's just see how we go. It's looking brighter and rosier than it was. We feel like we've got our team back a little bit. We feel like we've got the crowd back a little bit. We feel like, you know, there's a direction and a purpose from being almost like looking a little bit clueless everywhere. And that will take the heat off the owners as well. Let's be honest, for a bit it will. Yeah. And results change that, you know. And all we want to see is teams winning, teams playing well, scoring goals. So that's where we are at the moment. But in 2 or 3 games, if it goes wrong again, we will have our doubts again, because it is that knife edge.
Well, we're on that break now, where we've got the international break. And this part of the show, we should I should ask you just a little bit an update on your fundraiser, because we've got the Samosa Saturdays coming up very soon, which I'm helping at. That's Newcastle.
Yeah, so the next home game, I'm so happy. Imagine if we'd have lost Man City and Villa, and we'd have been in the doldrums, and we're all going, and is Gary O'Neill going, and, you know, so we need fans to be upbeat because it helps. So Samosa Saturday is the next home game. And Dave and the army of volunteers will be there, shaking the buckets and just chatting to fans. So please just come there. You know, even fans who might be going through a bit of a difficult time, or things aren't really rosy, and you just need someone to chat with. It's an unbelievable group of people on the stall and around the stall. And it's more than just the samosas. And it's a chance to just chat and talk and share, have something to eat. And even if you forget your wallet, we don't care. You can still have something to eat, you know. But I know you always dig deep and you always help out. So we'll be helping Dementia UK there. We'll try and get as many samosas. We got a bit of extra time because kickoff's at 5:30.
5:30, yeah.
We'll be, you know, the darkness will probably be hitting us, and sort of it's a different atmosphere. So yeah, please keep supporting. Thank you for coming out. And Dave, you know, and actually, I'll show you this because I've only just got it. So these are I've just had them delivered. These are my shoes that I'm walking to Newcastle. There's your second exclusive.
They're nice.
So these
they won't be so shiny by the time you get to Newcastle, though, mate.
Right, these I'm gonna. By the time I get to Newcastle, I'm gonna throw them in the River Tyne. I'm gonna be so.
I reckon you should auction them off at the end or something like that. You know.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah, Jeevan, obviously my son's going to do it. He's bought some as well. He's bought slightly different ones because he sort of, I told him that you've got to be happy with what you're wearing on your feet. They've got to be comfortable. So apparently the ultra hiking champion of the world, he wears these. So I thought, if they're good enough for him, they're bloody good enough for me. So yeah, a bit fancy. And you know what? The good thing about it is it's got like all the shades I think we've had in the last 20 years. Every shade of orange to yellow and a bit of gold. So yeah, those are the shoes, and keep supporting. I've had so many donations already, even though it's so many months of planning and thinking. I want to thank fans. There's a fan, Dave, who lives in Yorkshire, a Wolves fan, and he's in the RAF. And RAF Leeming in the base just north of Yorkshire. They basically said, I think it will be day 3. At the end of day 3, they'll pick me up from wherever I am, take me to the RAF base, and I can sleep there, and they'll feed me and look after me. And so, thank you very much, for the fans coming out and supporting in any way you can, And a few people have said, I'll join you. And I think join me for a walk to Newcastle. I said, if I do meet anyone on the way, they're happy to come and join me for a bit. If they meet me on the way, I will post the route as we get a bit closer. I'm not doing it yet, because there's a lot to plan. But brilliant.
Don't forget, it's a little bit harder going to Newcastle. Apart from it being a bit further, it's all uphill as well.
Mate, I'll tell you what, it actually, Yorkshire. I was thinking, let's have a look for the flat bits, and then I think, Yorkshire, there's no flat bits in Yorkshire. There's no flat bits. So it's going to be so tough, because I remember it was this time last year that I just finished the Chelsea walk, and that was 70 miles less.
I'll remember how emotional you were.
So the reason I bought these is because it's got extra ankle support, because my ankles had swollen up. Every time I hit a road that there was cars traveling too fast, I had to jump onto the grass verges, and they're a bit rocky. So, I had to what socks I wear, nice boots. Yeah, I wear anti-blister, so they've got 2 layers, and then I tape every single toe up, because it is ridiculous amount of miles. I mean, 470,000 steps. People ain't done that in a
life, and that's not including the blooming climb to watch the match.
Well, I've got to do that because, like I said, there's somebody on Instagram, another legend of a fan. He said, "I'm giving you a £5, 140 steps." So he's giving me 600 quid, Dave. A £5 for every step at the end of the walk, and so yeah.
You get a heart attack just going up there. Anyway, we'll keep you updated.
Josh, keep giving me Josh Woodbury. If anyone knows, he's one of our regulars.
He's on. He's
a runner. He's a good runner. He lives down the road. So, any tips? Anyone got any tips about what to wear or what not to wear, or if you have walked to Newcastle before in your spare time?
Just let us know. Well, we'll keep you updated on managed fundraising, and obviously the Samosa Saturday. We'll talk about that again after Bournemouth. And obviously we'll keep you updated on the Newcastle.
Oh, you know what? Before I go, I just want to say, Dave, brilliant job organising next week the Content Creators Cup.
Well, here it is.
Oh, here we go. So Dave has done a lot of the hard work, and he's got together lots of people who do rival podcasts and rival things and in the Wolves community, but we're all on the same boat. We all want the same thing. And, we're getting together to raise funds for the Wolves Foundation, 4 till 9, Sunday, 15th of October at Compton Academy. There's 2 groups, and so it'll be competitive matches. We've had a bit of a practice and we're ready, but we've got some tough opposition.
We have got the group of death, I think, because we've got... In Group A, and on the channel, there is the draw. We did a World Cup type draw, but we've got the lads from Talking Wolves. They've got some good, decent players. They've got EAB Skills, who's how
did they sign him up?
He's one of their founder members as well. So they're all good. We've got Dave, obviously, he's the captain of that team and their manager. We've got Harry and the 77 Club. They've got Mark Rhodes playing for them.
I've heard.
We've got the Wolf Pack. Not a lot. No, they're a bit of a mystery.
They've got some young players, though, mate.
And then we've got Jason's team, the Wolf Whistle. They are Jason's said himself they're the favourites. Yeah. And then in our group, mate, we've got the Wolves staff, and that's some of the Wolves media team.
They are really good as well. Good young players as well.
Commercial team, they've got some, good players. The foundation are playing. They've got some cracking players that teach football, and they all play on the pitch, so they're familiar. Yeah. And then we've got Fancast, and we know Fancast are a decent
competitive.
Very competitive. It is a friendly. There's going to be no sliding tackles, and then it's us. And then you can see the group stage matches there. So we've got 2 games going on simultaneously inside the dome. Group A and Group B that are playing each other. The top 2 go through. Then we've got the playoffs for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, and then we've got semi-final and final. You can go and watch. All you need to, how we're doing it is basically, if you do want to go and watch, I'll just basically share this screen for you, and then you can see, which is the fundraiser. And we have got a sponsor now, so a big thank you to 360 Training, who've donated 250 quid to be the sponsor. Extremely proud to be sponsoring the event for raise much needed funds for the foundation. So thank you to them. And then if you want a ticket, like James and Lydia have done, you just put your £5 a ticket. James and Lydia Cartwright, they'll put down. And then if you go down here, Tom Calvert, 2 spectator tickets. So we're keeping a list.
Now, do you know how many we've got sold so far?
I don't know, but there's 150 tickets total, and I think we're over 50. So already,
come on, guys! Next weekend everyone's free. Nobody watches international football. It's boring as hell. This is the place to be. It's raising good funds, a £5, and you'll get to see me having air shots. People like falling all over the place. Maybe some ex-players appearing for, Jason's squad because he knows a few. So it'll be a great night and a good fun night. Great to see as many people there as possible. Brilliant.
And the link to the Just Giving page is in the description below. We'd love to have you come and join us. As I say, it's great that all the major content creators, including Wolves themselves, the media team themselves, the head of media taking place, are going to be there taking part. And it's going to be competitive, but it's fun. We do have a trophy. It is and everything, and it's
a one trophy that Man City are not going to win.
And Carl said there's going to be refreshments on the day. We're working on that with the foundation, but it's going to be good fun. Get yourself down there. And if you can't go, just donate. Because this is the foundation, help lots of young kids, disabilities.
Chris Jordan, what you're asking me. Have you ever... Well, I played for Coseley Rovers as an under-16 player. That's where I met fellow players who then took me to my first ever Wolves game in 1987. So... I haven't played for about 18 months, but as Dave knows, I do like to keep myself fit.
Listen, we had a training session because Chris, the manager, or put in charge of manager, called the training session. So we went over and won one, and we had a game. Because we've never played together. Man, he's got some skills, man.
I'm like think Pedro Neto, and think of Dave as Hwang in the box.
Yeah, I did score 2.
Yeah, Josh has just said that's correct. So Tim Lake was part of Coseley Rovers under 16s, under 15s, and he played in that same. So he was one of them. And Tim Lake is a Liverpool fan, even though he went down the Wolves back then.
Yeah, it was good fun. It's all for, as I say, for a good cause. And we had it's just going to be a good day. So if you can get down, it's a Sunday afternoon. It's going to be at the Wolves Academy ground in the dome, so you're not going to get wet even if it rains. There's a balcony that you can watch. Hopefully there'll be refreshments on. You can watch both groups going on. We'll have a bit of a crack. We'll have a laugh.
Someone's just asked Dave, will tickets for the event be emailed? How will you know who's...
So basically, the answer to that, Dan, is that everyone on the who basically donates on the channel that puts the word tickets and your name, there's going to be a list with security to get you in. So there's going to be a list of all the people.
Bring some ID then, I suppose.
Yeah. So basically, you need to put the word ticket and your name or names. And it's £5. So if there's 3 of you, it's 15 quid, and you just put the names of the people on there, and then they'll be added to the security list on the way, so you can get in. Because getting tickets out, but that's what we've agreed with the foundation. And then hopefully all the content creators that are going to go on the day, they'll all create a bit of content as well.
You know what? Can I just say, Dave, you have all sorts of people in life, and people are, some people like to have the odd dig. Anyone who does good in life to try and help others, just get bloody behind them. And if you don't want to get behind them, just zip your mouth. It's a very simple process. It's very important. These organisations, the cost of living crisis is going through the roof. More and more people are using food banks. More and more people, losing their homes and livelihoods. And the foundation, for whatever you want to think about them, they go out into the community helping people with not just those illnesses, but people who have got dementia. The memory clinics they run, the stuff they do for mental health and well-being. They get adults who've never kicked a ball before playing football again, just to give them something to do. And they do that all virtually for free for those people. So they get supported by you and us. That's how they get supported. So get behind good causes, and it'll be the best £5 you spend.
And you'll make a load of friends as well on the day, and you'll have a bit of banter. As I say, there's only 150 spaces, so be quick. The link's there. It's basically justgiving.com/page/content creators cup. The link's in the description. It's on the page. Hope to see many of you there supporting the event. And Manny, I'm looking forward to us playing together again. And
yeah. It'll be a good laugh, mate.
We'll have a bit of fun. And
nobody gets injured.
A massive thank you to all the other channels as well that have got behind this as well. We do create content.
They're brilliant lads. All of them do brilliant jobs in their own, way. We don't always agree, but that's football. We're not supposed to agree. But I think this shows that we can all come together, and do something good. So.
Absolutely, and that's what it's all about, and the foundation of what's going to benefit.
Peter Yam said he's just donated. Well done, thanks, mate.
Oh, that's amazing, much appreciated. And we'll talk a little bit more about this on the channel in the week coming up. But I hope to see many of you there. Manny, thanks for coming on tonight,
no problem, mate.
Appreciate it. I'll see you on Sunday.
Okay, cheers, my friend.
Cheers, thank you very much. That's the first half of the show, guys. I hope you get behind that. Just before we get a move on, I do want to let you know that NordVPN are back, because there's so many of you that have apparently messaged them, and you've had the NordVPN. I've got it. It works on your TV, all your devices. It's a massive discount off their normal prices. Loads of us have now got it. I've got it on my phone, on MS, on my iPad, on my TV, on everything. It basically keeps your internet secure. You can watch American TV and all of that sort of stuff, and it's really, really good. So the link again to the NordVPN is in the link below. Get on that, or just type in nordvpn.com/alwayswolves, and it's a massive discount. And you even get 4 months extra free, and you get a 30-day trial for free as well, which is fantastic. Next up, I'm going to put this on. I've been sent this week. It is a Wolves Bermuda Hawaiian shirt, which it's going to be on my match vlog and stuff like that. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that a bit later. But we do need to get on to the next part of the show. And we have coming up right now, Manny was talking about him. You're right, Josh.
You're right, Dave.
How about having Steve Bull on the show?
I know, that's massive, that is.
And,
but Manny said, because when you set it all up, I was the first one that come on full screen. Then I saw Lucas and Louise, they come on, and saw Steve next to him. I was like, you are joking. I had to watch him move at first. I thought they got a cardboard cutout next to him or something.
Absolutely. Peter Yam's talking about the use the VPN. He uses it for the live footy. Absolutely, it works a treat with that. I've heard as well, mate. And you give Manny a lot of tips, do you?
Here and then, I try to. I say them socks that I've told him about. I swear by them for me running. They're not the cheapest, but they do the job.
They do the job. Fantastic. For the second half of the show, we also have Mr. Cheerful himself, Cheerful Chris Humphreys. You right, mate?
Hi, Dave. Hi, Josh.
Yeah, Chris.
Great show so far. I'm not sure which is most nerve-wracking, trying to follow the Wolves legend or talk to you for half an hour with that shirt on.
I knew you were going to say that. I'll tell you what, so many people have said they love this shirt. It's fantastic. I think it's a bit, you either love it or
those are people that
it's a bit like that. A bit like you buying that red away top. I'm not a big fan of that, but you love it.
Yeah. Are those the people that do the audio subscription, Dave, or do they actually look at the screen, the ones that say they like it?
No, they actually, I've had lots of people come up to me and say, where I get this shirt? You'll be able to find out later. I actually really like it, actually, but it's definitely something you want to wear in the summer, or be going on holiday with a pair of Bermuda shorts that work as well nicely.
I have to concede, if I was going on holiday, it'd probably be something I'd wear, but
there you go. Absolutely. And we also have, I'm so delighted because he's not been very well, my man. He's been really poorly. I'm sure he'll tell us all about it, but he made it to Molineux at the weekend, and it's great to have him back because he hasn't been very well. Right, Sutty, mate.
Good evening, David.
Good evening, mate. And I'm glad to see the trackies are back as well.
They are. I will not be wearing that, Dave.
No, that's fine. Now, Sutty, you've been poorly, haven't you?
Not been too great, Dave, to be honest. Shingles.
You've really struggled, haven't you?
Oh, they're very nice, mate. They're very nice at all. Wouldn't wish it on anyone.
Painful.
Yeah, very. Not nice.
Are you coming through the other side now? Getting better?
Yeah. A couple of weeks on. Still got it a little bit, but just a bit run down, I think, Dave. Working silly hours and all that sort of jazz, and getting stressed about Wolves and stuff.
That's probably what's ended up getting you strings, because you were getting so annoyed, and it's funny how things like that, because if your stress levels go, your immune system becomes vulnerable, and then you get poorly, don't you?
Absolutely, mate.
So you can blame Jeff for that as well, I guess.
Yeah, I'll blame him for everything, Dave. Even if I'm having a bad day at work, I blame him.
Fantastic. Josh, let's get stuck in with you first. Obviously, we've had the Man City win. Talk us through your day for the Villa game, waiting for the team to come out and going through it.
So it's the first one for a while when my brother's not been there. So I ended up going with my mate and his dad. We grew up with my dad, basically. Jumped them with them down to the Lich Gate before the game. And I'd said it all last week. I thought them winning 6-1 and beating Man City, I thought it had 0-0 draw written all over it. And I said it a few times in the pub. If it was on Super 6, that's what I would have put, which I got 2 points for in the end. But team come out, I wasn't surprised again to see a back five. I did think they overrun us a bit in midfield to begin with, but I think we nestled into it a bit more as the game went on. Whether the Storm a bit with their chances, that Ollie Watkins chance that he beat Dawson to in the first half at the South Bank, how that didn't go in, I do not know. It was just side foot bump. How Sarr got to it, unbelievable save. And like Bully said earlier, John McGinn, that first 5 minutes should have been booked at least once. But I won't say what I was shouting, so I can't stand the bloke. But he pulled Dawson down every time. Absolutely, I don't get what was going on there. He called him over 3 times in the space of 30 seconds. Never did anything.
It's like the fans were getting more and more frustrated as it went on. Just didn't you give him a yellow card? This if you do it again, you're off. So, and then we get soft yellow cards. Dawson got a booking, didn't he?
Yeah.
Which was I thought was really harsh as well. But Chris, I mean, obviously you were there. I met up with you before the game, didn't we? We had a bit of food together, which was nice, and everything. Happy with the point at the end?
I wouldn't say I was happy with the point. I was happy with the performance. I thought that we probably, on balance, could have won the game. I thought we were going to win the game before we started. I wasn't happy with how they played. I thought they played okay. There were some good performances in there. I don't think there was any bad ones, apart from the referee. But no, I thought it was a decent game, decent side. This team battered Brighton the week before. So They didn't batter us, and I think we looked the better team second half for sure. I went away reasonably happy, although we hadn't got the 3 points. I thought we gave a good account of ourselves. We played well. It looks like we've got a bit of structure. We know what we're doing now. Just hope he doesn't change it. Yeah,
Sooty, I mean, obviously you've been really down about everything. We haven't really spoke to you since before the Manchester City game, where basically you're having an absolute meltdown at that point with where Wolves were going. Having obviously, I don't think you were at the City game, were you? Because you weren't very well.
No.
But you were at the Villa game.
Yeah.
And but I'm sure you have watched the City game and you've seen the events that have transpired over the last couple of weeks. Because obviously you were worried about Gary. Where is your mindset after those performances? Are you a little bit happier? Do you know, with Gary and stuff? I mean, I'm really intrigued to see whereabouts you are after the last 2 weeks.
Well, as you know, Dave, I was a big advocate for Lopetegui. He's gone, obviously. I've never once, Dave, publicly had a pop at Gary O'Neill.
No.
Never. I've always said I will back him because there was some pretty poor candidates, I think, from what I'm led to believe. And when you look at the list of candidates, I think he was the best.
Who did you hear the candidates were?
Dean Smith and Frank Lampard.
Yeah, I can understand that. I could agree with you.
Well, I wouldn't want either of them.
No, either me.
To be quite honest. So that you know, you've got to hold your hands up, and I'll hold my hands up. The last 2 performances, I actually predicted, Dave, after Luton, that we get absolutely thumped. So I've got that completely wrong. And what was nice for me is to see some fight and a bit of application. And not only that, Dave, if you go back to 2 weeks ago at Luton, when we had a player sent off and we started with 4 at the back and he had to reshuffle it around, then you may well say that's luck. Yeah, it's an option to me. That's not luck. It's an option. But I said to you after the Luton game on here, how long has it been since we've had any identity? And because obviously this is our 3rd season of trying to play a back 4, and we're getting pumped 2s, 3s, 4s, 6s, 5s, all sorts over the last few seasons. It's not us, Dave. And I know people say, oh, we're just going to stop playing a 4 now. I'm not saying we've got to stop playing a 4. There will be certain occasions where we certainly can play a 4.
I agree with that as well.
But Wolves' identity, Dave, is we play with wing backs and we suck it up and we soak all the pressure up, and we've got a fast forward line that breaks at pace with wing backs and gets balls in a box and terrorises people on the back foot. And that's how we play. We've played like that for the last 6 years.
And
why have we tried to change
DNA? Back to being our DNA.
That is our DNA.
Facing attack.
And I think if he sticks with my big worry yesterday, I thought, oh, please don't go back to a 4, please. And I was so relieved when he didn't, because they all know their jobs. Dawson looked an absolute bag of nerves in a 4.
Yeah.
But in a 5,
imperious.
He looks absolutely mint. So for me, and you might not agree with me, it's all opinions at the end of the day, but for me, if we play 80% of the rest of these games this season with 5 at the back and wing backs bombing forward, knowing they've got cover behind them, we won't go down, Dave.
No.
I still hate Fosun, by the way.
I wouldn't expect anything else, mate. I wouldn't expect anything else. To be honest, mate, like we have talked about, like, we've tried this back 4 experiment. They changed it because they wanted to get more goals and all this, but like we ain't been getting the goals. And, I mean, our XG against Manchester City was 0.5. And
it don't matter though, Dave, does it? That matters not.
No, exactly. What I'm saying is, like, our shot conversion was really, really good. because we only technically had one shot on target and scored 2 goals. Obviously, the Neto one was a deflection. And again, yesterday, all of these goals are virtually identical in how we're doing it, coming down, getting the ball in the box. Hwang, you know, I mean, the Neto, the Hwang goal that Neto got for us was identical to the goal from the previous week, apart from Kuna was running in and he was there to tap it in, but it deflected off the defender. He got it through the defender's legs this time, I think it was, when he was crossing it. And there's Hwang in the 6-yard box. How long have we been saying, you know, we want people running into the 6-yard box to finish it off? And Hwang's so confident at the moment. He scored 3 goals all last season. He's on 6 in 8 games this season. We're looking for someone that's going to get 15 goals a season. Well, Hwang's on 6 already. And Josh, Kalajic, when he came on, that cross that he put in, I know Neto missed it.
Weak foot as well. To get that precise with his weak foot, I thought was unbelievable.
He's got something about him, you know, Kalajic has. He's got more about him than just like heading the ball and stuff like that. His close control's been good. And the vision that he had to whip that cross in, if he was a winger, it was a brilliant cross. And I really thought Neto would finish it. Obviously, you missed it, but that happens. But again, we had someone running into the box rather than it just no one there. And we seem to be able, like what you're saying, Sutty, we're getting the wing backs working and the overlaps going, and then the players they seem to know to hold, and then they seem waiting, and when they get the opportunity, they're springing forward, and it's hard to deal with, isn't it, Chris?
Yeah, I think it's I think it's the model that we've got to use, and I think we've got strikers now. I think if you look at last year, Costa couldn't get up with them when we tried. I know we didn't play forward about that much last year, but we've got a different looking strike force. Wang's probably the most clinical striker we've got in the club. You see, he tucks things away. He's always in the right place. He pulls into spaces. I'm really pleased for him. You know, he's put in some great performances, and he's been quite maligned by our fan base, I have to say. So I'm glad he's sticking 2 fingers up to them and putting the performances. And I'm really pleased for him. I just think that what we've got to do is understand that's how we can play, and that's how we've got. We spent 3 years playing that way, and our squad was built around that. So why without massively changing all those components, we think we can suddenly play differently? I don't know. I just think we should be playing the way that we are now. There's obviously, like Tutty says, there's obviously games where we might play 4 at the back. We might have got the injuries. We might have a certain bit of a team that we think we can get at, maybe Bournemouth. But I think we're more progressive attacking wise with 5 than we are with 4 at the back.
Absolutely. And Sutty, I mean, you know, Dawson, fantastic. What did you make of the midfield, Wilhelmina and Joe Gomez over the last couple of games? Sutty, you there? I think he's frozen again. Jeff's got to him again with his internet, I think. Josh.
He's not going to have internet working until he buys pies.
Oh, he's back again. Are you there, Josh? Are you there, Sutty? Sutty?
Can you hear me now, Dave?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate.
I was just saying, what do you think about the midfield, Lamina and Gomez, the last couple of games, and Boubacar coming on as well?
Well, I think Boubacar's a good replacement for Lamina.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's on a ban, could be on 2 games ban, because his 4 yellows carry over now, don't they?
Yeah.
So I think he came on, he played well, Dave. I've no problem with the lad. He's combative, isn't he? He gets stuck in. He's not frightened to express himself. So he's a great replacement for me.
I think Gary O'Neill really rates Boubacar because he seems his go-to midfielder that he brings on.
Yeah, definitely. Do you know, biggest disappointment for me yesterday, Dave?
Go on.
And that was young Silver. And I've championed this kid, saying stick with him, stick with him, stick with him. He's going to come good. He'll come good. His body language yesterday, Dave, was abysmal. Oh, when he saw that Kalajdzic was coming on, he ripped his wristbands off. He stormed back to the dugout. He threw a paddy, and then when he did eventually come on, he strolled onto the pitch, Dave. His warm-ups were shocking. He was just stood talking to Sarabia when Kalajdzic was coming on, moaning, pointing at him, saying, look, they're bringing him on. And he walked back, sat in the dugout, and I thought, you, on 80 grand a week you're on, son. Don't think you're too big for this football club, please, because you're not.
Absolutely. I mean, you make a really good point. And to be honest, you probably saw we had Bully on earlier. He was asked about Fabio Silva, and he says he just wants to get hold of him and give him a shake. And
all this falling over.
Bully was on about. Bully said, like, why is he hugging people and stuff like that? It's a strike.
I'll tell you something now, Dave. Right, quickly. I was at a book signing with Eric Gates, Bernie Slavin, and Malcolm McDonald. And it was in the northeast of England, and they asked me where I was from. I said, I'm from Worcestershire, but they said, who do you support then? I said, Wolves. And Bernie Slavin laughed at me, and he said, Wolves? What are you doing up here? I said, well, I live up here now. He said, the toughest player that I ever played against was Stephen Bull. He said he was horrible. He said he wouldn't shake your hand, he'd rather try and break you in two. Now, if young Silva wants a role model and wants a blueprint to build himself on, and to look at old videos of him scoring 4 goals away when he was pissed up at Newcastle on New Year's Day, when Wolves supporters chartered 4 Monarch aircraft up there in 1990, I think it was. That's the blueprint he should be looking at. And I totally agree with Bull. Get that mop of hair shaved off, because you're a bit of a fanny at the moment, son. Start digging in, and put this club before yourself and your dad.
I mean, that's exactly what what Bully said. He said he wants to shave his head, give him a bully cut, go and have a chat with him, and give him a shake. And obviously you mentioned about doing the hug. He said he's too nice. He's not nasty enough. He's like,
see him against Ipswich.
Well, I know
he was hugging everybody.
I mean, I think every Wolves fan wants.
I don't think he was hugging them, Keith. I think he was trying to tackle them.
Every Wolves fan really wants him to be a success as well. That's the thing. We all, we've given him some love and support and stuff like that. And to be honest, if you're a squad player and you're a team player, what do? You work damn hard in training. You put the balls away. You show 120, 150, 200% commitment every time you get the ball in training. You respect the manager. You wait for your chance, and when you get on the pitch, you give 200% in everything that you do. You put yourself about minimum, and then you try and take your chances. And when the supporters see him, like you have done, like I said, on the side, moaning about someone else who's your teammate coming on in front of you, who actually did really well when he came on as well. And when you do come on, you don't track back, you're giving the ball away and stuff like that. You're not going to be a starter in this team. You've got someone like Hwang, as Chris has pointed out, who's come through tough times and injuries. He's had a bit of stick.
12 months ago, I think a lot of us were ready to get rid of him.
Yeah, he's had
and then look at him now. He's one of the best players on the pitch.
But he's, he had a bad period, but he's come through it and he's worked damn hard. He's obviously shown an incredibly good attitude to all the management, because Lopetegui liked him as well. He played him he's a starter. He's putting Hwang is undroppable. You can't drop Hwang. You can't drop, and you can't drop Neto. So you've got to take your chance when it comes. And if you haven't got the right focus, you're not hungry enough for it, you're not going to get your minutes, are you?
Can all these managers be wrong?
Isn't it?
Go on, Chris, then Sutty.
So it's about driving determination. You look at Hwang, he actually started the move for that goal. He picked the ball up in front of Nori. He did a lovely pirouette, got some clear space, got it into Kuna, who released it off the Neto. He started it, and he seems to be him, Neto, and Kuna. Now we've got 3 players that will pick a ball up, turn, and run at people. And when you do that, it makes things happen. Find the space and make things happen. That's what they're doing. And Silva just he's regressing. He seems to be getting worse every time he gets on the pitch. And he was doing what Keith said, because he was right in front of me on warming up, and he was like a petulant kid.
Sutty, back to you.
Can all these different managers be wrong, Dave? Because I know he was thrust in as an 18-year-old, and it was really unfortunate, but he's not a boy anymore. He's 21, isn't he, or something like that. There's better players than him at 18 years of age had done it in the Premier League. And not only that, when he was on loan last season, he certainly didn't start every game on loan either. He scored a lot of penalties.
Yeah.
So there has to be a cut-off point, and I just hope this isn't like a vanity project for Mr. Shee, because obviously he loves him. He openly loves the kid, doesn't he? And he's
Fabio's has spoken about Jeff as being like a father figure.
There has to come a point, though, Dave, where if somebody comes in, I don't think he's worth 10 million quid, Dave. I really don't. I don't see a 10 million quid footballer, because I think it's a whole package as a footballer. Yeah. It's not just your ability. It's what you've got up here. It's how you conduct yourself. It's how you are in a group situation, i.e. with your teammates. Because to be any good, this is actually a team game. And if you're given a squad number, especially the one that's got number 9, then you've really got to pull your socks up and make sure that number 9 is special. There's a bloke who's been on tonight who wore that number 9, who scored 306 goals, is the greatest goal scorer in Midlands football history. And he would have died for that shirt, Dave. He would have died. He's making a mockery of that number 9 shirt. And if it was me, I'd be giving it the Korean guy, I'm afraid.
Well, yeah. I mean, everyone knows it. I mean, even like Pep Guardiola knows his name now. I'm sure he'll get it when he comes to the next one. But like, it's a shame, really, because like, I mean, everyone really wants Fabio to be. I mean, 35 million. He's been given chance after chance, and the application. And I really do. You know what? I really wish that Gary O'Neill would, get Steve Bull to go and spend half an hour with him and talk to him and have a chat, because that's probably what he needs. Something like Steve Bull, who's been there and done it, and you'd think you'd utilise that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, if he was playing for Ruud van Nistelrooy and he hadn't made any better for him, so best will in the world. Bully, I'm not sure Bully's going to be able to do anything. You either got it or you haven't, and I'm afraid he hasn't. It's not Fabio, it's Floppio for me.
Yeah, well,
you got to look at it as well. He was at Anderlecht the first 6 months. He didn't start the first 5 or 6 games. He then come in, scored 6 or 7 goals in the remaining games that he played. He then threw his dummies at the pram to do with playing time. It wasn't Wolves that pushed the move to PSV. It was him. Yeah. He wanted him and his agent, which I think is his dad and Mendes. They forced him. He stopped playing at Anderlecht, I think. He then forced him to move to PSV. So there's a bit of a temperament there, isn't there, already, to say that he's thinking about himself rather than the bigger picture of helping your team out.
Well, his dad got €4 million, €4 million of the signing on fee.
Yeah.
Of the 35 that Wolves paid for him. So no wonder Daddy wants him to move here, there, and everywhere, because he's probably spunked all that 4 million at the moment.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We can't be a cash cow, Dave.
So would
We're
you
no longer a cash cow.
would you say like even Nathan Fraser in your mind is probably ahead of him at this point?
Yes, he is for me because he's hungry and he wants it.
He knows what the club's about.
He knows what the club exactly. Fabio Silva's got this. He was given this wonder kid label, and he thought he was going to probably be the next Ronaldo or somebody like that coming from Portugal. Because
that's what the Portuguese media outlet said, wasn't it? They come out and said he's
they thought he was going to be the next. Unfortunately, he is stratospheres away from Ronaldo. He's more like Ronald McDonald at the moment. No, I don't know about Ronaldo. He's well,
we do have a wonder kid from Portugal, Pedro Neto. He's like our wonder kid from Portugal because look at him.
There's just they're different players, obviously, but there's just no comparison for how that kid views our club. Neto I'm on about now, and so if he gets subbed, he will not throw his teddies out the pram. He'll get on with it and he'll go and celebrate if we win, and he'll take it on the chin if we lose. And they're the kind of players you need. You can't fill your team with too many Fabio Silvas sulking around the place, ripping wristbands off, sulking in the back of the dugouts. And he weren't even warming up, Dave. He was sent to warm up and he was literally just stood talking by the corner flag. And he did that at Chelsea, if you remember, last year as well. Turn on, Dave. It's 80 grand a week. It's not on.
I know, mate. It's disappointing. It is really disappointing. And I hope he proves everyone wrong and he goes on to score loads. But at the moment, you can't really see it, can you? But the first thing he needs to do is get rid of that attitude, get on with it, get your head down, work hard, and then. If you don't work hard, you're not. If you don't work hard, it's not. You can have all the best players in the world. You look at your George Bests and your Gazas and stuff like that. Some of them were naturally talented and stuff. Some didn't fulfill all their potential. But the really world class players are the ones that have the talent and the work ethic as well, and that's why they become world class. And if you, all the talent in the world, if you don't apply it in the right way, it just gets wasted. Right, Josh, highlight of the day, man of the match performance rating Villa.
Highlight of the day. I'm going to say the weather. I know we had the good result for October.
It's like
for October, sitting in the beer garden, complaining that I'm wearing jeans rather than shorts. It's got to be the highlight of the day. Man of the match for me, it's got to be Hwang. I just think he's been unbelievable, Arda. He's turned a massive corner to 12 months ago, and he's showing it week in, week out now. Man of the match. What was it again? Man of the match. The performance rating, I'd go a 7.
Solid 7. Same to you, Chris.
Yeah, I agree with Josh. I think a 7. Man of the match for me was Hwang. I think he's becoming a fantastic player for us. Highlight of day was what I described, that move, that little turn he did, found the space to start that move for the goal. Lovely little bit of football. Very underrated guy, and I hope he goes on to prove people wrong for the rest of the season.
Well said. Well said. Suti.
Hwang for me. He's not proving me wrong, because even last season I was telling you, Dave.
Yeah.
Work rate will get you hard work will get you anything you want at the end of the day. So if you keep working hard, and do you remember when he made the poor clearance against Newcastle and he got pelters? Not from me, Dave. Because anybody that puts 100% in that shirt will get my backing. I hate lazy players. They drive me nuts. So he'll always get my backing, and he has come good, as some say. It's
great to see him have a run without injury as well. It's Pedro Neto, a run without injury, and you start to see the potential that the game, because they're fully fit.
Yeah, absolutely.
The thing is with that Newcastle thing, he was in back defending, trying to clear a ball. Would Fabio be there doing that?
No.
So Maximum could take that shot all year round. He wouldn't hit it again.
Yeah.
Just one of them, unfortunately. My performance rating, I'll give it a 7. Because Villa are a good side, whether you like them or not. They're a very
They
good
are,
side.
mate. As I say, they're doing so well under Unai Emery. They tanked Brighton 6-1 the week before.
Yeah.
You know, we scored a great goal. It's the old cliche: you're most vulnerable just after you scored, and they got a goal. So had they not got that goal back at that point, we may well have gone on and won that game. But that's football for you. They did, but we did again show spirit and battle when we were down to 10 men again. I mean, I can't remember the last time that anyone was sent off against us and we had the man advantage. But we had to play a good 9 or 10 minutes with a player down.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
And the ref seemed to be on until they scored. Obviously, Ollie Watkins, that he left. I think when he hit the post, I think the ref gave up at that point and blew the whistle. But like, had that gone in, it would have been that referee probably wouldn't have even got off the pitch. He had to have security to get him off.
Well, I've gone past now moaning about refs, Dave, because if you watch all the games, they're crap for everyone. They're just crap. So it does magnify itself when it's against your team, my team, the Villa. If they get a bad decision, we've got those blinkers on that are gold tinted because it looks 20 times worse when it's against your player. But these officials are the worst officials on record. They're shockingly bad. So don't go to a game expecting anything off them other than the worst. Because we will get the worst, and so will everybody else. It's one of them. Don't let it spoil your day. So, and my moment of day, well, I suppose meeting up with you lot after for 5 minutes.
Oh, I appreciate that, mate. And I'm really chuffed that we're going to be able to go to Bournemouth as well. And I think you're going to be going to Bournemouth as well, aren't you?
I am, yeah. I've got 2 England games in between. And then, so I'm going Friday and Tuesday next week. And then I'll be at Bournemouth. Fantastic. Looking forward to that. Hopefully, maybe we can get you on the extra fan reaction after the game for that. That'd be nice as well. Yeah. Josh, are you going to Bournemouth?
It fell on I'm away again that weekend. There've been a few away games I fell away on and I'm away for. It's just like, but so I'm not there for that one.
What's your score prediction for Bournemouth?
I'm going to go 2-0 Wolves.
2-0. Chris?
I think we're going to get a 1-0 win.
A 1-0. Now, Sutty, we've got to say about Chris, right? He was the only one pretty much to predict. I mean, I said it wouldn't surprise me if Wolves would beat City because that thing, but Chris was so positive before the game last week that if you saw the match vlog, he said we're going to win, and they did. Called it, didn't you, mate? They don't call you cheerful, Chris, for nothing.
Well, I was cheerful after that game for about 3 minutes.
So you're going 2-0 for Bournemouth, did you say?
1-0, mate.
1-0. Sutty?
I think it'll be much like when, do you remember when Moutinho scored that free kick from the edge of the box?
Yeah.
We play 5, I'd carry on playing 5 at the back. So solid. I don't care who it's against. Not really into all this. We should be really going at these teams. Keep it tight. You don't lose games, do you?
Yeah.
If you keep it tight, you can't lose. Right, so I'm going for 2-1 to Wolves.
2-1, nice and positive. Right, we're going to come on to a little quick question and answer in a second with my guest. But just before I get onto that, thank you to FOCO for sending my Hawaiian shirt. I'm going away somewhere hot in November. This is going to be going with me, I can tell you. Fantastic, fully licensed products that they've got from Wolves. quite a few people have asked where they're gone. I think a few people have already gone. The link, if you want this shirt for your holidays and your winter sun holidays, the link is in the description below. Just look for the shirt and you can get that as well. Right, you ready for a little Q&A, guys?
Go on then.
You've got 3 questions each to finish off with, and the subject is going to be Steve Bull. So who wants to go first, second, and third?
I'll go fourth.
So you're going to go last. Chris, first to second.
Not bothered.
Josh, first to second.
Go on, I'll go second. Go on, Chris. I'll give Chris the dibs.
Right. Okay. So it's out of 3, guys. Don't unless Chris, you've got a phone a friend. So if you go for phone a friend, that means we go to the chat and we ask the chat. So chat, don't put anything in. It's like ask the audience, yeah. So you can use an ask the audience.
Am I winning £1 million for this?
You don't win £1 million, but you will have bragging rights. Okay.
I thought you were going to say I was going to win one of those shirts. I wasn't going to partake, but we'll carry on.
Well, no, you'll get bragging rights. Right. So the first question is: don't answer anyone in the chat. I think there's quite. Lewis is asking. There are big sizes, so check it out, Neil, on the link. So right, your first question for you, Chris, is, and we're going to go round 1 question each. So this is round 1, and it is a Steve Bull round. It has to be Steve Bull, doesn't it? Because we've had the legend on tonight. So the first question is to Chris, and it's a multi-choice question. Where was Steve Bull born? A, West Bromwich, B, Dudley, C, Tipton, D, King Swinford.
Tipton.
And it is, of course, Tipton. Ting. So that's a point. So, Josh, your question. What is Steve Bull's full name? Is it Steve Bull? Is it Stephen Bull? Is it Stephen William Bull? Or is it Stephen George Bull?
Stephen George
B, C, or D?
D, Stephen George Bull.
And that is, of course, the correct answer. So it's 1-1. We've got Sooty up next. Sooty, Steve Bull, he signed for Wolves from local rivals, the West Birmingham Baggy Birds, otherwise known as West Bromwich Albion. In November of 1986, which other player also came with him?
Andy
A, Andy
Thompson.
Thompson, B, Andy Much, C, Keith Downing, or D, Robbie Dennison?
Tomo.
Correct answers. A nice, easy one to start with. You're all on 1 point. Here we go. So, back to Cheerful. Right, Cheerful Chris. Which Wolves manager signed Steve Bull?
Graham Turner.
Say what?
Graham Turner.
Sammy Chapman, Graham Turner, Graham Taylor, or Bill E. Garridge? But not Billy Garridge. Bill McGarry. And of course it is Graham Turner. So that's 2 out of 2. Billy
Garridge. Billy Garridge. Did he used to park the bus when we played?
He's Ted Lasso's mate. Billy Garridge.
Yeah.
He's Ted Lasso's mate. What we're watching that at the moment. It's bloody brilliant. I tell you, we love it. As you know, Chris. Right, back to Josh. Right. Josh, here we go. Steve Bull, Josh, scored 50 goals or more in 2 consecutive seasons, but which ones were they? Were they A, the 1986-87, 87-88 season, B, the 87-88, 88-89 season, C, the 88-89 and the 89-90 season, or D, the 89-90 and the 90-91 season?
What was B again?
B is 87-88 and 88-89.
I'm going to go with that.
So you're going with B, 87-88 and 88-89. Do you want me to lock that in?
Please.
That is the correct answer.
I'll take that.
They do with the thing. So that's
before my time.
So it puts the pressure back onto Sutty.
I've got all theirs right.
Yeah, okay, you don't count those certificates. You can only get for your own. Right, number 6. Steve Bull is Wolves' record goal scorer, is he not?
Correct.
He is. You don't get a point for that, but he is. But how many goals did he score for Wolves in all competitions? Is it 250, 300, 351, or 380? A, 250, B, 300, C, 351, or D, 380? You can ask the audience if you're not sure.
I'm going to guess. I'm going to gamble.
You're going to gamble.
351.
Do you want to lock that in?
Yeah.
Oh, it's correct. Hey, it's correct. It's 351. You are right. So that's 2 points apiece. 2 points apiece. So we come back to cheerful. Cheerful. Steve Bull was captained by England 13 times. But how many goals did he score for them But how many goals did he score for his national team? A, none.
4.
You're going to go for 4 straight away. I'm going to go with the answer.
Tunisia, Scotland, and Czechoslovakia. 2.
A, none. B, 2. C, 4. D, 6. You want to lock in. What do you want to lock in?
4. 4.
You're going to lock in 4. Are you sure?
Yep.
That's the correct answer. It's
Sat on
3.
the bench at Wembley and watched him score them too.
Fantastic. It's 4. You're absolutely right. So it's back on to Josh. So Josh, Steve Bull scored his last goal for Wolves on the 26th of September 1998. It was a home game in the first division, but who did Wolves beat 1-0 that day? Is it A, Blackpool, B, Burnley, C, Preston North End, or D, Bury?
I think if I get this right, well, this was my first ever game that I went to watch. And I think Robbie Keane also scored that day.
Well, it was a 1-0 win, mate. So I don't think so.
It's not the game I'm thinking of then, but I think it was Bury.
Are you sure you want to lock in Bury?
Yeah.
Okay. It is Bury.
I'll take that.
Well done, John.
It's Bury. Manny's saying that league goals are 250 and it's 306 total. So I don't know because this is in this quiz book and it says 351. So he might be right. So I'm only going on what's in this quiz book. It could be right, but can someone double check that answer for us?
Well, he scored 306 league goals.
It was 306 league goals.
I think so.
Yeah, well, Manny's saying league goals were 250 total, 306 according to this, but according to the quiz, it's 351, and I wouldn't have thought they'd have got it wrong, but someone can. Manny's saying the book's wrong. Honestly,
306 is his total, I think.
When
you did come up with that figure, I thought you're adding league goals and cup goals together.
I thought that as well, but like it's in the book. We're going to go with the book answer just for today. But I thought it was 306. But hey ho, the books could be wrong, and if you wouldn't have thought that the quiz book would get it wrong because there's a lot of research being put onto it. But someone double check that 306 is the total. There you go. So we'll still give you the point anyway because we all knew that. So it's Sutty's go next, isn't it? Right. So what honour was Steve Bull awarded in 1999 and then presented with by the Queen in February 2000? Was it an MBE, an OBE, a CBE, or a KBE? AMBE, BOBE, CCBE, or DKBE? You can ask the audience if you're not sure, Sutty.
I'll guess again. It's a bit boring when everybody gets them right, ain't it, Dave? I'll go for an OBE.
You're going for the OBE. Are you going to lock it in? unfortunately, it is the MBE that you got. So
There has to be a first loser, Dave.
right. So we need to have a playoff between Chris and playoff between Chris and Josh. So it's going to be fingers on the buzzers. The first person to shout out the correct answer is the winner of this week's quiz. Okay, this is another Steve Bull question. Okay, so I'm not even going to give you the options. I'm just going to let you shout out the answer. No thingy. So which team? Steve Bull played for one more club after leaving Wolves. Who was it?
Hereford.
It is Hereford United, and the winner of this week's quiz in a playoff, it is cheerful Chris. Congratulations. How are you feeling?
Ecstatic.
Give him a shirt, Dave. Give him a shirt.
Absolutely, yeah, fantastic, mate. That was good. That was, yeah. So, yeah.
Do you know who signed him for Hereford?
Was it Graham Turner again?
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Same bloke.
Manny says the quiz book's made by Stockley Park. So yeah. So anyway, I could only go. I thought that was thing, but like it's in the book.
Sorry, Josh, that wasn't really very fair. You're a bit young.
Nah,
A bit younger
I
than
knew
us.
he played for someone else after, but didn't have a clue.
Absolutely. Well, it's been a brilliant show tonight. It really, really has. And Sutty, I'm glad that you're getting better, mate. We'll have to get you on the extra fan reaction at Bournemouth.
Yeah.
And guys, just a reminder that we do have the 7-a-side Content Creators Cup next Sunday. You know, the link to to get your tickets or do your donations is in the description below. A massive thank you to Creation Wolf for powering the show again this weekend. You got your Nord discount. You can get your shirt if you want as well in the thing below. And yeah, it's been absolutely brilliant tonight. And I hope that many of you will support the event to raise money for the foundation. It's going to be a bit of fun. As I say, you're gonna see me and Manny playing in the same team together. We've also got Paul off the channel as well. Lewis is part of our team. You know, we've got in our team.
Got Craig as well.
We got yes, charismatic Craig's playing in goal as well. We've got a few people that you've seen on the channel. We've got Jeevan playing for us as well, which is Manny's one of Manny's middle son as well. So but we've got some great opposition that are playing. You know, you've got from the Talking Wolves, you've got Finn playing for them, Dave as a party, EAB Skills, and some of their guys. The Wolf Whistle, Jason's could have played for us, but he's playing. He's got his own team. He's the captain of them.
Trying to ring in Dave Edwards, isn't he?
Well, he's been trying to. We've got Josh Power from the Wolves staff, who's the head of content playing, and they've got some video media playing for them. Kieran is, head of the foundation, and Tom are playing for the foundation. They've got a decent side, and we've also got from the Fancast, Little Dan's playing. We've got Gully playing for them, and Luke. They've got some good little players and some regular presenters on there as well. And then we've got the guys from the Wolf Pack who are a bit of a mystery. And then the 77 Club, you've got Harry Mansell, that's the team captain. I'm pleased to say that for our team next week, we do have Chris Mansell, who you see on the away fans reaction after the game with Paul. I've appointed him as manager. But we do have a secret weapon. We do have secret weapon because we do have 2 assistant coaches. And I'm pleased to say that our assistant coaches are none only than Sensational Stan and Magic Moss. They're assistant coaches.
Incredible.
That are on the day.
Incredible, Dave.
I know what a lineup of coaching staff that we have with us. It's all a bit of a fun. It's all a bit of a laugh. It is competition. It's all going to be good natured, all coming together, please.
It'll be like watching Capello and Ancelotti on the sideline, Dave.
Well, I know, mate. I tell you what, mate, it'd be brilliant to have you in the side next year if you can still do it, and that would be amazing.
I'll put you a few quid in, Dave. I'll put you a few quid in, and also while I've got you on here, I'll give Manny and his lad £1 a mile each.
Wow, £1 a mile for Newcastle. That's incredible. What a guy. What a guy. Sooty, you are a very generous man, and you're a massive supporter of what we do as well. So thanks for that. I don't know if Manny's still in the chat watching. If not, I'll he's actually put up a get well, such a legend of a man, always supports our causes and a great friend, and you really truly are, mate. Absolutely.
Dave,
yeah.
Whilst we're on the charity thing, can I just say a big thank you? I know Chris and Sooty donated as well, to everybody who donated to me and my brother for the Great North Run for Parkinson's UK. I think in the end we've got until next week, but I think we've raised £1,000 between us. So thank you to
fantastic!
everybody.
There's a link for that as well, mate. Have you got? Type it in the chat, and I'll put that up there for you as well.
Nice one, cheers. I'll send it
on the type it in the chat. Absolutely. And so Manny's obviously got that £1 a mile for Manny and Jeevan at Walker. So that's incredible. And, absolute sensation as manager for Sunday. Mate, you're going to get to see Magic's going to be there. Sensation's going to be there. Manny said brilliant. We're just going to put the link in as well so you can donate to Josh as well. I know we're asking for money, guys, and donations and stuff like that. It amazes me that you put in your pockets and you keep doing that as a fan base and stuff like that. What we try to do, and always try to do on the channel as well, is to sort of highlight all the good causes that we do, and help in any little way that we can. Because, my mom suffered from early stage Alzheimer's and was seeing the dementia. I know she passed away from a heart, and we miss her so bad. But Manny does incredible work for raising money for dementia and also for the foundation. And I really appreciate the work that the foundation do as well, because they help so many people, which is why I wanted to do something, fun and different. And I'm hoping it's right. We've set a target of 1,500. I think we're just about to hit that target. I think we're just short of it. But I'm hoping we can raise a lot more as well.
Quickly say, Dave.
Yeah.
Can I just quickly say that the easiest thing anybody can give is money, because you can give 1p and it'll make a difference, or you can give £1,000, it'll make a difference. The toughest thing that anybody can give you is their time. So all these people that are giving their time to try and raise for good causes, just give them a little bit. We've all got a little bit somewhere.
Absolutely. And there's your link there, Josh, as well.
Cheers, thanks, Dave.
For your Parkinson's and stuff. I think
it closes next week. So if there's anybody that wants any more, I know every majority of people have. So thanks again. But,
fantastic. And Manny says here, final word: giving back improves your well-being as others. And do you know what? I always try to do a kind thing a day. That's kind of like one of my mantras and stuff like that. But you do get a good feeling for doing something to help other people, and if everyone did that, the world would be a lot better place, wouldn't it? All football aside and stuff, all that sort of stuff aside, if you can do something to make a difference for even one person, it's really good. Fantastic. Sooty, Chris, Josh, Manny, Lewis, Lucas, and of course the legend Steve Bull that was on earlier. Still surreal. Sooty having Bully on the show, right? It's just fantastic, and hopefully we'll get him on again, and we'll have a little bit more time with him. But fantastic, isn't it? That have Bully come on.
Very lucky. I'm lucky enough to stand next to him most weekends when I was in WV1, Dave.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
You take it for granted, like him and Robert Plant, they just walk past you and have a chat with you. But he is a modern day hero. We haven't
absolutely. I was kind of like so nervous with him coming on and stuff like that. So, thanks for everyone for being supporting. If you enjoyed today's podcast and show, please smash it a like. If you're listening to it back on Spotify or Apple or whatever, just give us a rating and a comment on your podcast, will you? And if you're brand new, Hope you'll subscribe, and don't forget to support all the charities and check all the links in the description below. Until the next one, we're just coming up to 2 hours. It's a great show. Until the next one, love to you all wherever you are in the world. Keep the faith. Looking forward to Bournemouth in a couple of weeks, and look out for the content on the Always Wolves socials for the charity sevens this weekend. And a big thank you to all the other guys and channels that have supported it. Until then, Always Wolves.
Always Wolves.